All right, let's do it.
Let's do it.
Hey, hello. It is the Go Birds podcast. Elliot Park, James Seltzer with you. A ugly loss today at home. I think this is probably, and we're going to get into it obviously, but probably the most upset that people will be about a game lost by Eagles backups anytime in the near future. Usually
Yeah.
if the backups are playing, you're not too upset. But look, ultimately, at the end of the day, the Eagles are going to play the Niners, which I think, I think we're both pretty happy with, obviously, compared to the Rams. But I think all week, look, this is going to be a thing with Nick Sirianni and the coaches not playing the starters and it coming down to there being real stakes at the end of the day. And the fact they could have had the 2 seed, which you've talked a lot about being super important. You don't want to go to Chicago. It scares you. I will say Chicago just lost to Detroit at home in a game they supposedly had to have today and played their guys, it turned out. And, could lose the Packers. Who knows? But here, Elliot, I'll turn over you. Here's what I will say, though. And obviously, there's not too much to talk about with the game today. We'll get into Tanner, obviously. But if you were okay with them resting guys before the game, I don't think you can be upset now. If you were upset before the game, I think you can be upset. And that's honestly the way I look at it. I was okay with them resting guys. I'm not going to turn around right now and be like, you're idiots. You just play guys. Like I told you. Like I didn't. I was fine with them resting it. Ross Tucker said at the end of the broadcast, he's like, the Eagles have been by far the best team in the NFL with injuries this year. Years past, like they've earned some benefit of the doubt, and I agree. So that's where I'm at. Obviously, it's frustrating. I can't believe I knew it. We knew what team was going to lose that should have won. It turned out 2 did. But what's your overall feel right now?
I mean,
And we'll get in the Niners as the pod goes on, obviously.
yeah, look, I think this is, and we'll have all week to talk about the Niners, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Daily pod starts tomorrow. So there's a lot of different layers to this, right? But I think the first one is this is embarrassing for the team. This is flat out embarrassing. Like the number 2 seed was there to be had. The number 2 seed was right there. All they had to do was beat a team playing also mostly backups with no incentive to win the game. That's been terrible all year. And they decided to prioritize rest over the 2 seed. And I hope they like the bed that they themselves have laid in, right? When they have to go to Chicago in the cold with the noise. I don't want to hear like, well, it's hard to go on the road in the playoffs. Like, no, they picked this path, right? They told us that getting the 2 seed was not important as having rest, right? And I saw the benefits of rest, right? We've had this discussion over many different times, over many different types of things, whether it's training camp, whether it's preseason games, whatever it is. Like, I understand prioritizing rest, but the 2 seed is an important thing. They played with it and they lost it. Like, they messed up. I understand what you're saying about if you thought beforehand it was a good idea, you can't be
Yeah,
that.
I don't think it's. I think it'd
Here's
be
what I would say,
completely
though.
hypocritical. You could say, like in hindsight, you could argue, but like, who knows if a starter gets hurt in that game? Is it worth
Yeah,
it?
no,
If
I
AJ
agree.
goes down, if it worth it? If Mailata goes down, or God forbid Jalen, like, is that worth it? Of course not. So like, I get it, but you're talking against a hypothetical.
No,
And
no, I
again,
know, but the Eagles are responsible for the end result. The Eagles are
I
the
I
ones that
get
are
that.
paid a
I
lot of
get
money
that.
to
I
make the
get that.
correct
We'll see.
decision.
But
Yes.
I don't. I'm saying as fans, I think it'd be ingenuine to say beforehand, I'm fine with them resting no matter the outcome. And then when this plays out this week, be like, I knew they should have played their stars. No, you didn't. Like that's
But
like I
regardless
almost
of what,
cursed there. It's
okay,
BS. Yeah, you
regardless
can
of
say
what
they
people
played it
thought
wrong. You
before,
can
right,
argue that they played it
right.
wrong. But like, I don't think anyone who came in saying they were fine with them resting players has the right to
So
curse them out right now.
But
Personally,
I
I
would
don't.
say, like, regardless of whatever people thought before, the Eagles blew this, right? Like, we could have our opinions, fans have their opinion, media members
I
have
mean,
their
we don't
opinion.
know that
The
they blew it. I
Eagles
mean, the
blew this.
Niners
They
might be
blew
a
it.
better.
They,
Like, we don't know they blew
but
it.
I'm
Like,
saying,
who
like,
knows?
the
But
2 seed
yes.
was there to be had, and they lost a game they should have won, right?
But I get it. But they blew it from your perspective. The point is, if the
Well,
Eagles
there's
cared
no,
that much about, hold up. If the
yeah.
Eagles cared that much about the 2 seed, they would have played starters, right? So, like, the Eagles went into this day and game saying, no matter what, we understand that they knew Dan Campbell was going to play his guys. We did. Everyone did, right? Like, they knew it going in saying, there is a chance the Lions win today. We understand that. And there is a chance that we lose. We are all right taking that risk for the 2-3 swap off. The guaranteed rest and we got for our guys is more important. In your mind right now, they blew it because they could have the 2 as opposed to the 3. In their mind, they already did this calculus. Like, they don't think they blew it. They went in saying, we know this is a possibility. it is what it is. If they cared enough about the 2 seed, they would have played guys. Even for a half, they would have played guys and gotten a big lead or something. Like
what I'm saying is, like, whatever calculus they did, the outcome was a bad one. It is a bad outcome for the team. They should be sitting right here with the 2 seed right now, and instead they're sitting with the 3 seed. They should be guaranteed
without knowing who got hurt. You're saying it's a bad outcome.
No, I know, but I'm saying they lost the game.
Right, dude. But you're talking in a perfect world where they play their starters and they win and no one gets hurt. We saw like 4 backups get hurt today. Like my point is that you're saying they blew it, and you're talking about a world that doesn't exist because they didn't play a game with the starters. We don't know. No, but do you understand that? Like your hypothetical is totally based on them starting the starters and winning the game, and that's how they blew it. If they start their starters, they could have won the game. They also could have gotten guys hurt. That we don't know what would have happened in that situation.
Right. They could have got a guy hurt, but they also almost definitely win the game if they play their starters. But that aside, right? Like even the not starting, like they blew it. Like they made the calculus they could beat Washington with their backups. I know they felt they could win this game, right? They were favored in this game even with the backups in, right? So even if you think a starter could have got hurt, and like maybe one could have, they had the 2 seed handed to them and they turned it down. Like that's exactly what happened, right? They elected not to go hard for the 2 seed. We can debate like blew it, whatever.
So my point is like,
but that's
they
blowing
it, but they went in okay with it. I agree.
But I think that's wrong. I think that's wrong. I think that's a wrong calculus by them.
But why were you this mad about it going in?
I said they should go for the 2 seed all week. I just said I thought they would. I did say all week I thought they should go for the 2
seed. So you said you thought they should play the starters?
I said I thought the backups would win. I'm saying the 2 seed was valuable.
But that's a different thing. Again,
no, but it's not because they're the ones paid to make these decisions. Like I can have my opinion. The bottom line is the decision they made did not work out as of now. Like they could go and win on the road in Chicago and it doesn't matter. Like a number of things could happen, right? I'm just saying they made a decision that did not work out. Like the decision they went with did not work. They did not win the game, and the 2 seed was there.
I get it, but the Bears could have won. It could there's so many.
But they didn't. That's what I'm saying.
I get your point, but you know what else didn't happen? None of the Eagles regulars got hurt. Because they didn't play today. Like, I get your point, but you're not presenting the other side of the hypothetical. The whole reason they didn't go for the 2 seed hard is because they didn't want their guys to get hurt. And guess what? None of the guys got hurt because they didn't play. So, like, the Eagles, in their mind, and again, you clearly don't agree with that. You would have rather risked the health and played the starters, even though you didn't say it beforehand, I don't think. But, like, clearly you would have rather, knowing that the Lions would have won, that you would have rather played the starters, but they know that those starters didn't get hurt. That was their whole objective this week. So, like, I think this is like, I get your point, and you can be bummed that they could have had the 2 seed, but I think I think they went into it knowing this was a possibility and saying we would rather get our guys not hurt. And again, my most important point, Elliot, is like, if the starters played, you don't know who could have gotten hurt. What if someone gets hurt? Would it have been worth it? Of course not.
Right, but I feel like we're doing it. We're doing a lot of like hypotheticals.
I just think you're not acknowledging the fact that you're all saying they blew it because they would have won the game. Sure, but they also could have gotten someone hurt by winning that game.
Right, like, but what I'm saying is, like, I view this a little bit like a draft pick, right? Like, we can say whatever we want before the pick about what we think the right decision is, the process, whatever, blah, blah,
but
right?
Again,
hold on, let me finish. The bottom line is, it did not work out in terms of getting the higher seed when they could have. You're right, they stayed healthy,
but they
right?
Didn't try for the higher seed. That's the whole point. They wanted to stay healthy. In their mind, it worked out because they're healthy. You know what I mean? Like, that's the whole point.
But I don't think in their mind it worked out.
You didn't disagree with that prior to the game.
But again, I don't think it matters what either of us said before the game. We can sit here now.
It does.
I don't think it does. Unless
hypocritical.
No, but the objective, I don't think it's hypocritical. The objective is to talk about, we're talking about like what their decision was and if it was the right or wrong one. Now, to your point, it could be that it works out fine, right? Like they win next week, they go to Chicago or wherever, and they win in the second round, and then it doesn't matter, right? It might not matter. I'm just saying this is not what they thought was going to happen. They thought they were going to win the game. When they sat their starters, they did it with the idea that they would win, right?
But not with the guarantee that they could have had if they played their starters, and that's the calculus. That's
the point I'm making.
But again, the point is you're just saying, well, they were wrong. The point is they could have gotten guys hurt and they didn't, so we don't know that they're wrong. Like, this game never happened with these starters. Like, what if Jalen plays and gets hurt, Elliot? You're not acknowledging that.
I know what I'm saying, but that's a hypothetical. Like, we can only talk about what actually happened. No, it's not. We can talk about what happened. What happened in the game.
But your point is okay, so what happened in the game is the Eagles lost because they played the backups. How did they win the game? How did they win the game?
They didn't. They lost.
Right, but if you said they messed up, how do they go about winning the game and not messing up?
I'm saying if they would
have had to play their starters.
Yes,
exactly. And then you don't know if they get hurt.
Point. I get that.
No, they didn't. What if a starter got hurt? How do you not understand this logic?
That could have happened. I get what you're saying.
So you don't know.
But you're completely absolving them. You're completely absolving them of what is a really bad
what
look.
What I am saying is that I went in saying I was fine with it, so I'm fine with it. Like, I'm not going to rip them when I said. But here's the other thing. Well, I'm not absolving them. What I am saying is you're making it seem like they just didn't think about anything. They went in saying we care about this more than the 2 seed. Like, they might be wrong, but we'll never know if a player would have gotten hurt. But they cared more about not playing their guys and being the 3. They probably assumed the Bears would win anyway. Like, the point is, who cares? They were fine with the 3 seed over the better chance at a 2 seed.
So
it only didn't go their way because the Lions won and they lost. Like, it's like,
but I guarantee you,
won and they lost, we wouldn't be talking about this.
I guarantee you they're mad right now. I guarantee you Howie, Jeffrey, Nick, all of them are mad right now.
You can't have your cake and eat it too. You know,
because they made a mistake. I think they regret the decision. Do you think they regret the decision
of not playing their starters? Yes. No, I don't. I don't think they do.
I disagree. I think if you told them prior to the game the Bears lost the game and you could play your starters or not, I think they would have played their starters.
You can't know if the Bears are
going to lose the game. No, but the point, I know you don't, but the point I'm making is, like, they had a shot at the 2 seed. I think that in this
situation, in a vacuum, every single time they're going to rest their starters. That's what I think.
But I also think, like, I get your point about we can only go off of, like, what we thought beforehand and, like, process over result. I get that. But it is a bottom line business where results matter.
Well, my point is you don't know the bottom line unless the starters played. Like, again, like, that's the point you're not acknowledging. Like, what if they, in your world, they have to start the starters and they could have gotten hurt? Like, you're not acknowledging.
Yes,
like,
you're right. There's a risk of injury. I agree. There's a risk.
You're
of
just
injury,
saying, right? Like, it's automatically it was wrong. Like, not necessarily. The whole point was they wanted.
It was wrong. It was wrong.
If they starters healthy? Like,
yeah, but I'm saying, like, like, yes, someone could have got hurt.
We're running around in circles. Like,
no, I know. Well, this is what it's going to be for 3 days. So get ready.
But again, I'm just saying, someone could. And again, like, at the end of the day, look, people can be mad if they want. I went in saying I acknowledge. I picked the freaking Lions to win. Like, I thought the Lions were going to win the football game. And I was fine with the Eagles playing their backups. Like, I thought they had a chance to win. They did have a chance to win. They didn't. Like, that sucks. But, like, I'm not going to rip them for something that I was totally fine with. Like, that's the way I look at it.
But this is where I think we disagree, is I get the logic of what you're saying, but it's like saying if before they drafted Jalen Reagor over Justin Jefferson, you were like, I'm okay with the pick, right? Like,
no, it's not at all like that.
It is like that because
you didn't know the Bears were going to lose, man. Like, the Bears were a favorite today. Like,
you're arguing process over result.
No, you're not. It's not a 1-to-1 what you're talking. No, it's not, dude. You're not taking in the fact that there is a game out of your control where one team is favored at home with everything on the line. And if they win, it doesn't matter at all what happens in your game. You could have played your starters and won 55-0, and it wouldn't matter one bit. Like, you have to take that into account when you're making your decision. Like,
I agree.
It didn't go the way they thought it would. Like, again, I thought the Lions were going to win, and I was still fine with it. But I like, that's part of the calculus. It's not just like draft this guy or that guy. It's a different thing, man.
No, but last thing I'll say, because I do want to talk about the players that actually played, is like, I just think at the bottom line is, like, it didn't work out the way they wanted. Now, you're right about the health. Like, we could be talking about them playing the Packers with the 2 seed and saying they're probably going to Super Bowl. Like, that's what we could be talking about right now. But they blew it. But here's the other way they blew it. It's like, they didn't play well. They played awful. Like, the secondary players were bad.
You know?
Yeah, well, that's the point I'm making, is like the backups were awful and they were not playing. Let's not act like they were playing the starters of, like, the Buffalo Bills or the Rams or whatever. Like, they were playing bad players. Tanner McKee was not good.
McLaurin and Debo are good. The cornerbacks who
McLaurin's
are
good.
McLaurin's good, and Debo's pretty good. Like, he's not amazing, but he's better than those guys. But yeah, I think the thing that stands out the most was how bad Tanner was. Like, Tanner's bad, dude. Like, he had a few nice throws, but I mean, that interception early on was at the end of that, or beginning of the second half, or start the end of the first half, whatever it was horrible. The drives late. I mean, it really stands out how little he can do if there's pressure on him. I mean,
he definitely is not mobile.
Not just not mobile. He's not, like, functioning mobile. I thought he was more like move around in the pocket, get around things, this and that. Like, it felt like, and even then he just kind of runs the side and throws it away. Hopefully, like, it just didn't feel like he had as many tools in his bag. And again, this is one game with, not a bunch of starters around him and stuff, but it didn't feel like he had as many tools in his bag as I thought he did.
Right. And so like that's another reason I think people should be, it's fair to be frustrated with this, is like they thought they would win. Like I'm telling you, in that building, they thought they were going to win and they did not. Right. So like they thought Tanner would play better. They thought the offensive line would play better. They thought the defense would play better. And for what it's worth, like Jalix Hunt made some big plays. The defensive line had some nice moments, but like Jacorian Bennett, how he traded for him as a potential starter on this defense, right?
He's horrible.
Keely Ringo, they traded up to the top of the 3rd round for him, and then they tried to give him the job all summer, and he lost.
It was
right?
4th round. I think it was the top of the 4th. For
whatever, right? But the point I'm making is like the players that were out there today are guys that are supposed to be good, and this is something we talked about, during training camp and in preseason. Is like the depth on this roster is not that good. It's just not that good, and so for them to say, I think we can win this game with those players is a bad look for them. Like this was an embarrassing day in the way that they lost and blew it. Like I get that you're going to fight the battle and I respect it of like,
I fully digree with you. Like,
I know
think
you
you're
do. I'm
going
just saying
way overboard. Like I get your
I know.
point.
I'm just saying.
I think you're going way overboard. And again, I think it's like hypocritical is like the only word to go into this game being like, I am fine with them resting starters no matter what happens, because we all knew the Lions could win. Like we got
but
that,
I don't
right?
think people
and we all knew that Tanner McKee could lose to Washington. Like they were 3-point favorite, 3.5-point favorite. It's not like they're some like massive favorite. Like I don't know. Like I get it, but like I went into this fully thinking that there was a real possibility the Eagles would lose and the Lions would win, but I was okay with them sitting the starters. So like I get it. I get what you're saying. Like the righteous indignation about it. Like I think if you went into the game saying they should play the starters, the 2 seed is the most important thing. If guys get hurt, fine. I am fine taking that risk. Then you have a right to be upset about it. Like I didn't say that. I went into this saying I am totally fine with whatever happens with them not starting the starters. So like I feel hypocritical.
Right, but
I'm not going to come in and be like, those idiots. Like I agreed with them.
It's not
it's hindsight. You can't like look back.
Of course it's hindsight. I agree.
Of course it's our job. It's our job to
Their job is to make the right decision.
And again, I think the righteous indignation, again, I think you're going way too far. We don't know unless that game happens and the Eagles make it through healthy. Then you can know that it was the wrong decision. But what if they play it and Jalen or AJ or whoever gets hurt, and then we come out and being like, oh, they got the 2 seed instead of 3 seed, like that's something, but we're going to be in the playoffs without Jalen Hurts. Sweet.
Well, that would be a bad outcome. I agree.
Right. And the only way that outcome cannot happen is if you don't play Jalen Hurts. You understand my point? Like,
no, I get your point, but
I just think you're going so far with like it's no matter. Like I think I think the seeding is overrated. Like I'd rather have the 2 than the 3, but I think you are going like way overboard with this being like the biggest disaster ever. And again, I like, if you thought they shouldn't play the starters, then how did you not think this was a possibility? What did you think? Were you sure Tanner McKee was going to beat Washington? Like that's crazy.
Right. But again, and we are going in circles, but you are leaning on the decision prior. I'm talking about what happened. And what happened is they had a chance at a 2 seed.
I'm talking about being logical and understanding that that Tanner McKee probably might not.
And that was
Washington.
The mistake. That's
right. But again, I didn't have a problem with it going in. So like, what am I supposed to do now? Be like, oh, yep.
It's okay for you to have a problem with it.
It's not.
It's perfectly okay.
It's perfectly okay. I'm fine with them resting the starters. Again, I don't know who could have gotten hurt. I would still, if you told me this was going to play out this way, I still would rest the starters. Like I would
right, because you don't care about the 2 seed. Because you don't care about the 2 seed.
Then my point is like you could redo it, and you know the Lions lose, but you have to play the game with the starters, and anything can happen. Someone could get hurt. I would take the 3 seed. Like
okay, see, but that's where we disagree. Like I think the 2 seed is a major valuable asset for them.
You didn't think it was valuable enough to say, hey, start the starters going in.
I said they should try to win the game, right? Did
you think Jalen should
play? I said I would have played the starters, but then once they weren't, I said I thought they could win the game. But again, like it doesn't matter what is said. Like what we're talking about is what happened.
I think it matters.
I mean, I really matters to an extent.
And again, all the I would take no injuries over the 2 seed 100 times out of 100, and I don't know if there would have been injuries. So like, I'm fine with it. Like
you don't value the 2 seed.
And I'm not scared of the Niners. Like, I think the Niners and the Packers are like similar level playoff teams. Like I think Jordan Love is better in cold weather on the road than Purdy is. Like I think that Niners defense, like even without Micah Parsons, I think that Packers defense is like definitely legitimately better than the Niners defense and maybe substantially better. Like the Niners defense is bad, I think. And like that Niners team is beat up, man. I on the road here, like, I don't know. I'm not scared of the Niners at all. Like, yes, going to Chicago in the second round, it could be tough, but like, I don't know. Chicago's not that good. Like, they're
All right.
fine.
So
They're
the last thing I'll
I
say
think
before
all these games are going to be close. I think anyone could beat anyone. I haven't changed how I feel. I think the Eagles could go to the Super Bowl winning all one-score games. Like,
they could. I agree. Like, they could still go to Chicago. And the last thing I'll say before I go to the locker room is this. Like, I can have my opinion. You can have yours. Like, this is a decision that if they don't advance past the second round, they will wear for years. Like, fair or not, this is a decision people will talk about all the time from now on out, right? Like, all the time. So whether or not we right, wrong, whatever, blah, I'm just saying this was a day that we will be talking about a long time, like at the end of a lot of seasons for years to come. So it did not work out like well for them. It might, but like, this is not a day that I think will be remembered fondly for the franchise.
Look, I get your point. I just think first of all, I think it's overblown. Seeing stuff like the Lions got the bye last year, won that game against Minnesota. Should they have lost it because they ended up losing the first round game at home to Washington? Like, you play this game with anything that happens. I don't know. Like, I think if you were going in, I went into this saying I am all right sitting the starters, knowing the Lions might beat the Bears. Like, yep. And I knew that the Eagles had a much less chance to win if they didn't play their starters, but I was okay with it. So like, I'm not gonna be like super angry now that something that I knew could happen would happen that I was all right with. Like, I get your point, and I think there will be a lot of people mad, but I think if you're all right with them sitting the starters, I personally don't think you can be that bad, like, personally. But like, whatever. Everyone
get ready. Get ready.
Yeah, I mean, hypocrisy reigns. I get it. All right. I mean, it is hypocritical. Like, that is the definition of hypocrisy. If you say one thing before and then it doesn't play out the way you want, and then after you're like, well, you should have done it the other way, even though I said before to do it the way you were doing it. Like, come on, man. Like, that's hypocrisy. But whatever. I don't care. All right. We'll be back every single day this week. I'm sure a lot more of this and a whole lot more. We'll look ahead to the Niners because honestly, I'm excited to play the Niners. If nothing else, from a sports fun perspective, sports are supposed to be fun. The Niners coming in here is a hell of a lot more fun than the Packers coming in here. It just is. Like, we've got all the hate, all the stuff. Like,
it is.
This will be fun. So we'll see. We'll talk about it tomorrow. All right, go to the locker room, see how they're feeling about the loss, and see how angry everyone is. I can't wait to talk about it tomorrow. All right, until then.
All right. See you.
Peace out, James.